make sure you know what level you're working with, as you guys are my club, except for Nana, but I know Nana. I know that you guys understand certain things that I say, and I know what level you guys are at, so I don't have to stand here and go, okay, when I trot, you need to be OT, which means this, I don't have to go through the whole process of teaching all of that like you would for a beginner. So before you even start, it's good to know the level that you're working with, because that will also be in the back of your mind when you're explaining moves. A good thing that I like to do when I first make the line start trotting is give them time to fix their gaps. Alright, and the next important thing is it depends on how you command, but in Saturn Manes we do thing, set, go. And it depends. So like comp team, I can do thing, set, go, and they'll do it because they're more experienced. Or I can do thing, set, go. So there's no like pattern and there's no specific time I call things. However, I like to usually keep it as thing, set, go. So you guys know, you're so used to when I call the go, and I always do the set twice. Okay, so some people use pre, so you are prepared for the go right after the pre. But because we don't use pre, I like to make sure that I am spacing out my thing, set, go the same every time. So if I go curl, set, and then go, you guys are used to that, right? But if I said curl, set, go, it would catch you guys off guard. So you want to make sure you're being consistent with your commanding. That is a personal thing, but it's also good that if you're in a club with other commanders, you are, trying to be consistent with the other commanders as well, so people aren't thrown all over the place. So curl, set, go. Brooke. So I had an even spacing between the first set, the second set, and then my go. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. Curl, set, go. Good. Okay, so as a commander, you want to be aware of the line and what they see. So that's why I believe that you need to be spending a lot of time in the line before you actually command. I know that Shy is here, but if I want to call the move when she's here, I need to call it right. If where she's here, I need to call it right now. Okay? But if I want her to start the move here, then I need to call it when she's back here. Okay? So I need to imagine an invisible horse in front of her. So if she has a 1 horse distance between her and the wall, it's too late for me to tell her to bell or to turn either direction. I need to just leave it up to her. You want to picture the lead, but imagine an invisible lead in front of them. Okay, you want to make sure you're calling things on time because it's hard enough being a lead, and so you need to keep in mind what they're seeing and what their reflexes have to be in order to lead the line as best as they can. When you call go, usually they'll do it a second after. So if you want them to do a specific move at a certain place in the arena, you have to call it slightly earlier. That's how it always is with commanding, just because of screen delay. I'm going to use you as a dummy, so just kind of bear with me. If you hit the wall, it's fine. So Shy's approaching the wall, and right here, I would not call anything else. See, she hit the wall. So she had to make the decision herself, but I cannot call anything else from that point on. Because it's too late. If I call left when she was going to go right, then she might panic and switch and then hit the wall. So I always try to give leeway for time as a reflex, but also for screen delay. So turn right at the wall. And she has enough time to think about it and then do it. So it's good to see your whole line including that invisible person in front. So you want to make sure, right now I see in front of Shy and I also see Nana. So that way, if I want to call something, I see when Nana comes off the wall or when she gets back on the wall, or I can see wherever Shy is. So I wouldn't call a move right there because she was in the corner. I already saw that. So it's all about being aware of the line, and it really takes practice to like see everywhere at the same time. It's like driving almost, where you don't just have your eye on one spot. You need to look all around and look at your surroundings. And then I'm going to call a move to where I cut Nana off, so curl right set, go. So that's why you need to make sure you're watching the line, so it's clean and you don't want to cut people off. Okay, so if I back up, now I see the whole line. I see Nana's off the wall. I see Shy is not at the wall, so I can do curl right set, go. And you also want to take into account not just the one invisible horse. You also want to remember that you don't want to make the decision to where they are too late to turn where they're hugging the wall. So I gave Shy enough time to turn so she's on that line that she needs to follow. A lot of people like to try and call a rain so B is the center, right? I know a lot of people who try to do that, but they end up having it a bit off center because they called it too late. So what I like to do is when Shy is right here, okay? So I have a one horse gap to where when she turns, it's going to be beside her. The letter B is going to be beside her and the other person, which makes it in the middle, okay? So it's a bit more than a one horse gap when you want to call this, because you have to take into account the turning too, okay? So I'd call it when she's back here, so by the time she kicks in and turns, it's going to be in the middle of the rain. So I'm going to call a rain at C, and I'm going to call it bad, go. And it's slightly off, so C is behind Joe. And that was one horse ahead of Shy where I called it. But you need to take into account the turning, so that's why it needs to be slightly more than one horse. Okay, so now I'm going to call it the good way, hopefully. I haven't called this in a while. But rain set, go. There you go. So now you guys are perfectly centered. So you want to call it earlier than you expect, and even I thought, oh, that was way too early, but it was still good. It was like almost perfect, if not perfect. So I'm going to call a snap badly. Okay, so just kind of deal with it. So comb set, go. And I backed up here so I can see the whole line, and I can also call it. So again, it's going to be called bad, snap set, go. So that was way too late because I didn't take into account screen delay and reaction time. And snap set, go. There we go. So I know it's like timing issues, so like when you have to call something so it works out perfectly, that's what a lot of people worry about. So you have to, like I said, just keep in mind the screen delay and the reaction time. So screen delay would normally be one horse, but then you have to take into account like another quarter of a horse for the reaction time. Learning how to say moves and teaching them efficiently just comes with practice. See, that takes too long. Explode, this is how I would say it. Explode in a circle. Everybody's going to cut into the center of the circle, pass through the center, and then merge back into the direction the circle was going on the second go. Done. That's all you need. People don't understand? So, on the first go, you're going to cut in and face the center of the circle. You're going to pass through it, and then once you come out on the other side, I'm going to call a second go, and you're going to merge back the direction the circle was originally going. That's a little more in-depth, but it's not too much. They don't understand, you do a demonstration. Simple explanation. They don't get it, a little bit more in-depth, not too much though. They still don't get it, demonstration. And then if they still don't get it, you just try it. The best way for them to learn is by messing up and then learning what to do next time. The first thing I want you to practice is keeping that same time difference between your curl set, go.
Okay. Trot set, go. Curl set, go. Good.
All right. Tell her when to die.
Die now. Is her a little off?
Tell her when to cut onto a mid. Could be any.
Cut towards E. Now. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, I want you to call a comb.
Comb sets, go.
I want you to explain what squiggle is to them.
It's a dodge, but after you do the dodge, it'll be another curl over, so it's just 3 curl overs.
I didn't understand, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how would you go a little bit more in depth but not take too long?
On go, you will curl over one way, and once you're straight, you will curl over the other way. And then once you are straight again, you will curl over the other way.
So, I like that because you mentioned the directions.
Mm-hmm.
You said you're going to curl this way, and then you're going to switch, and then you're going to switch. So that, like, you didn't mention that the first time, so you mentioned it the second time, which goes a little bit more in-depth, but it wasn't too much, so that was good. That's what I was looking for. Okay? They still don't understand. What do you do?
Show them. So if I am right here, and I say squiggle left set, I will curl over one way, and once I'm straight, I will curl over the other way, and on the once I'm straight again, I will curl over the other way. Squiggle set, go.
So, a thing I realized while you were commanding, you had room to call it on this wall, but you saved it for this wall because you saw that they needed to fix their gaps, which was perfect. I'm going to have you call a shrink.
Oh, okay. Shrink set, go. And go. Oh, that was late. Sorry.
Actually, I should probably call it, and then you can watch how I do it. Shrink set, go. And go. See, I called it earlier than it looked like it should have been, but you have to keep that 1 horse and a quarter.
Shrink set, go. Go. And go.
There you go. Brooke veered out, though, in the circle, so that's why she's behind. But that was good. There you go. And then I want you to have her cut mid, but on a go. Okay, so you have to call when she's going to cut mid.
That's a little bit off.
Yeah, so you just got to remember a horse and a quarter.
Okay. Cut mid set. Oh.
There you go.
Mars is an orbit wave. Mars right set. Oh.
I want you to call a snap.
Okay. Split at wall. Okay, so make sure that you're aligned with the one. Set. Oh. I think that's really late. Set. Oh.
That was really good.
Oh, that looked a lot better.
Last thing I want you to call is a rein at either mid. So I want you to try and get it perfectly centered.
Main set. Main oh. Oh, it's late. Okay, we'll try that again. Main set.
and set. Oh.
There you go.
Hey, I did it.